Well, bejesus, my iPhone storage decided to cut us off mid-video yet again, and it's grinding my gears. But here we are, back in the room. The Tanya shall remain sanguine and cool and continue on with her professional persona in her daggy old lady nightie. I haven't even got earrings on, looking completely, defunct and a bit defective. And I shall continue with part 2 of readings of the 11th of February 2024. And I really resent how I was interrupted right then in the middle of whatever I was expounding upon. Can't even remember what it was now. So if you stayed with me this long, you must really, really like me, or find me interesting, or pity me, or both. But anyway, here we are. We were up to, I will continue with the last sentence. Especially the nurturing embrace from the strangers who had witnessed my stoic determination, even dressed as a bride, to remain free. Ah, yes. So I had read that paragraph, but I'll repeat it again. Freedom has a price I have gladly paid over and over again, in spite of long decades of trauma and grief. A too high price, a withering, winnowing, grinding down price, but valuable only to me who cannot forego my selfhood, my life force, and my weird, berserker, battle-worn stature. As my father used to say, there is nothing to fear but fear itself, which is mostly true unless fear has been foisted upon you by external forces too big to conquer, and still they demand you to obsequiously faint and quiver and humiliate oneself in a false modesty and a confectured humility that you did not willingly choose for yourself, like the illusion of false lovers and treacherous friends. And by the gods, I had a multitude of those during my lifetime, which is why I'm so delighted and grateful at long last, at perhaps for the last phase of my life, to have people who truly do love me, who treat me with honour and integrity and kindness. And I'm yet to find a sexual partner who I can trust with my body, mind, heart and loins. But, in time, even that might manifest one day. Someone noble and kind and loyal and faithful to me and decent and, a gentleman and who is proud and happy to have me as his partner, right? Could happen one day. But I am grateful for all the love that surrounds me at the moment. It's been soul nourishing and comforting, especially with the deep grief I went through in recent months, having lost Beauregard. It's actually felt kind of miraculous, quite frankly. My beautiful beau enters Valhalla, and then all this love was just poured down to me. Maybe Beauregard's my guardian angel in Valhalla or the next dimension or wherever good doggies go when they die, and maybe he's the one that stands between heaven and hell and makes sure my life is no longer a hellscape and that it's finally, for the remnant of my lifetime, beautiful and loved and good and holy and protected and guided. And you know how I go on with my spirituality. But one can only hope that life will continue blossoming out more and more, get even better and better and better. And, you know, the one, my truly loving man, finally comes to me and says, here we are, Tanya, let's make this life together wondrous. And I can only hope, because I'm a little old lady now, it's kind of too little too late. Let's be real here. Let's be real here. But anyway, I continue on. As I said yesterday to the lawnmower man, who was interesting and spiritual and kind, that was one that helped me as a one-off out of kindness, who was a acquaintance of my friend Lynn. He was a very interesting man, a little bit crazy too, but like me, a bit odd, right? But he was a very interesting man, very spiritual. He was actually a very, very devout, to the point of lunacy, Christian, but I don't judge. You know, if you come to me with heartfelt intentions, with pure intentions, and you cross my gates, because my gates to my home, my sacred space is heavily protected, and if you come to my aid to assist me with true nobility and loving intentions, then I don't judge what walk you are on or what religion you have. You are welcome here, you know. Anyway, he was a very sweet person. And I said to him, because I am a little bit bitter at times, I said, humans are dirty, filthy, treacherous creatures, but sometimes, just sometimes, you stub your toe on a truly good, kind human, and it feels like a miracle. So here I sit in my garden, gifted by the gods, with old trauma processing dreams and an anticipation that something good is opening up for me. So I must only wait. Waiting, as always, for Godot, on my quest for a true, loyal, faithful, safe love, and a partner worthy of my unique spirit and brand of insanity, which is not really insanity, but it is complex PTSD, and I can be difficult at times, especially if I feel threatened. Like any other mortal on the planet, right? So it's not at all insane to go into self-protective mode when I'm seeing things not being quite kosher, right? Well, that's my walk on planet Earth, and I'll stand by that till the day I die. With my delightfully fey sense of humour and recalibration of the absurd in a world gone bollocking nuts with the COVID epoch, but which has illuminated the darkness and the dross and highlighted the few rare, precious, good people in my orbit. Here's looking at you, babies. A gift that could not be purchased with material goods, but bestowed by faith, trust, and good intentions that followed through. Thank you. Aho. Amen. V'salah. 11th of February 2021. Here he is, my handsome one, my beautiful handsome one. Beauregard, with little Charlie by his side. She would have been twittering away to him. He was quietly listening and musing, looking at me like, oh mama, oh the mama, would that birdie ever shut up? They were good friends though. most of the time. Sometimes she used to attack him and beat him up. Sibling rivalry, right? Sibling rivalry. 1:11 p.m. Hallelujah. It's I'm having a little sardonic twist about the 111 being angel numbers. So every now and then when I see the angel number sequences, I make a wish or I make a little glib little comment like that, because my angels make me do it, babies. Well, I'd like to think so anyway. Today I have battled, this is in 2021, people. Today I have battled an intense fatigue, but I have had a pleasant day watching the Esoterica channel and another lecture about Vikings on YouTube. I just got back from taking Charlie Bird and the beau on Regar for a walk. They thoroughly enjoyed themselves. I just shuffled slowly and gingerly along like the older woman I have become. Yeah, I was a bit slow today too when I was out walking with Jared. I don't know why I was so tired. I mean, I danced on Friday night, but not that vigorously. And then yesterday evening I sat with Tarina and her friends and, had a lovely time. And I wasn't doing any vigorous exercise then. So I don't know why I was so stinking, I found it hard to walk today actually. All my bones ached. Then I got a pinched nerve in the back of my knee and that was hurting. Oh, I was just a little crabby old woman today. I don't know how Jared puts up with me. He's really true devoted brother to me, but that he puts up with my crotchety old, bitty old ways. I guess he doesn't see me that often now, so he only has to put up with it occasionally, I guess. It's a bit astonishing though. This getting old shit, it's like, I'm finding it quite humbling and fragile making. But anyway, on we go. This too shall pass. I managed to clean the fish pond filter and do 2 loads of washing, so that was good. I had a lovely day yesterday as well. Crystal came to visit me and asked me to help her block 2 scenes and film her for an audition, which I was absolutely thrilled about, that she asked me to help her with her acting career, because, by the way, that's very rare and unusual. So I had a fabulous time helping her block those scenes and film her audition. But it was the last time she asked me to participate, so meh. Anyway, after we finished, she complimented me on my reading the other part and surprised me by saying, "You are a good actress, Mum." I laughed. I replied, "No, hun, I'm merely a good mother of an actress." Then giggled and said, "Who would have thought I had it in me?" Unbeknownst to my daughter, I was in a play when I was 16 years old, and I could have pursued acting if I'd taken more interest in it. But I was so nervous I flubbed my lines and lost confidence, so there was that. But I am indeed an excellent actress. In fact, it saved my life more than a few times, by the way, in danger situations. I can put on quite a fucking act if I have to. And it's not how you expect it either. Like the time I went with Gail and Lucy, her methadone addicted, former heroin addict daughter, to rescue Lucy from her boyfriend, and we arranged to meet somewhere in Underwood, I think it was. And of course we took Pedro with us, who was nearly 7 foot tall and Serbian and devilishly handsome, but devilishly scary, especially when he has his black glasses on. And Gail, Pedro and I get out of her tiny little car. I think it was a Toyota Echo, looks a bit like my old Mazda 2, tiny little roller skate car. And all you see, this thug, this boyfriend of Lucy, all he would have seen, it would have looked a bit astonishing actually, was our Pedro get out of the back seat of this tiny little car, straggle his legs out, and just keep rising and rising and rising, because he's incredibly tall. And then short little hobbit fat me gets out of the passenger seat, and I quietly move beside Pedro. And Gail gets out of the driver's seat. She stands on the other side of Pedro. And the three of us just stood there like this. Gail says, "Send Lucy over to us now." In this really cold, terrorising way, which she had the gift. She could be very cold and sadistic, that woman. I should know. I was friends with her for 15 years. And anywho, the thug, the boyfriend, the drugged out, gronking, low-level entity, looks at Gail, looks at Pedro, looks at me, and I'm just standing there like this. My usual resting bitch face that I very, very good at utilising from time to time. And he literally started shaking and shit himself. Of course, Lucy would have said, "My mother's really dangerous, and so is my auntie." She used to refer to me as an auntie. And so is Pedro. Anyway, all we did was just stand there. We didn't do it. We didn't threaten. We didn't do anything. We just got out of the car and said, "Want our kid back." Anyway, Lucy comes. He just nods. Lucy comes scampering. I felt like I was in some fucking spy movie doing a spy swap, right? It was a bit surreal. And then Gail says, "You can go now." And the dude nods, gets in his vehicle, fucks off, never to be seen again. So, done and dusted, right? Yes. But I think he was more scared, not so much of little old me, because I'm pretty harmless, really, let's face it. But it was the Pedro, two short, tiny, little petite women, and this giant. He wasn't gonna fuck with him that day, he really wasn't. But anyway, that's the sort of thing I used to do for my friends to keep them safe, right? Put myself in the line of fire and in danger, by the way. So it was a very fucking toxic friendship in more ways than one, darlings. But you know what? To protect one of our kids, I'd do it again. I did what I had to do to keep my little Lucy safe. So in that sense, I was a true auntie to her. Pity they forgot that though. Pity they forgot that. But never mind. Life goes on. Don't ever come between me and one of my children. Lucy was like, I don't know, 23 or something at the time. But, she's our kid and that's it. We look after our children, real mothers in the Jewish community. We protect our own. If we have to, we have to. Hopefully it doesn't come to that though, But there were a few occasions I'd get a phone call in the middle of the night. Auntie, I need you. What have you done now? Don't drag me into your nightmare. You better not be on drugs again, girlfriend. Oh, I promise I'm not. I promise I'm not. Yeah, right, lying little bastard. This is the trouble with people on drugs. They will lie and they will manipulate. They will do anything. But, yeah, a few occasions I went to her aid, and there were a few occasions when it was quite dangerous indeed. But anyway, this is why I like to surround myself with good, kind, noble people of integrity who are clean and clear. That means not raging alcoholics, not on drugs, because I don't need that level of drama in my fucking life, do I? I've done my apprenticeship of pain with that family, who I actually didn't owe them shit, but they used to act like I somehow owed them something. Like, what? And then they stabbed me in the back with my mother and Buck, and with my then boyfriend, by the way. She even tried to manipulate my friend Jared and Lynn against me. See the pattern? Acting just like my dear old mother. Repeat pattern. Same demon, same evil entity, different face. So I'm very, very reluctant to get involved with anyone now that is dangerous, unstable, or drug affected, because I'm not your messiah. I'm just a very naughty girl. Quote, unquote. Literally from the life of Brian. We might as well call it the life of the Tanya, because it did get that fucking ridiculous at times. Ridiculous, but dangerous and life-threatening at times. So, no, I won't marry again. And no, I won't have any filthy, toxic friendships ever again. As soon as I get a whiff of that, sayonara, sweethearts. I want a peaceful, loving existence for my old age. And I deserve that much. I'm a deeply, deeply good woman who, for some reason, probably because I'm a shaman, attracted nothing but vermin to myself. And how much of it was my fault and how much of it was my trauma issues, that people saw me as some kind of a healer, or understood that I understood because I'd been raised by vermin, so they saw me as a protector and a guide. I don't know, but it got too much for my nervous system in the end. Just got far too much for my nervous system. Anyway, my daughter had just said, I'm a very good actress. And I said, I'm merely a good mother of an actress. Who would have thought I had it in me? Well, now I'm not a good enough mother either, so fuck that shit. She complimented me on my filming as I worried it was bouncy or jerky, as I struggled to keep her eye line in the top third of the frame. But when we played it back, it was perfect. We even shot her second scene in one take. We both had to laugh, as in the first scene, she got stalked by a massive fly, which seemed to come out of nowhere and kept pirouetting above her head like a little saboteur. I joked it was the spirit of my dead mother, striving to stymie her success, as she did that to me my entire life. The bitterness still does leach out of me from time to time. But it was recently my evil mother's birthday, and evil entities often pester the living in the form of cockroaches, flies, or other symbols of death and decay. So I was only half joking. We briefly considered filming the first scene again, but she laughed and said, the fly will be a natural distraction and show her professionalism in handling it. I grinned. My daughter is stoic and resilient and pragmatic like me. After blocking and filming, she took me to an early dinner, late lunch at Grilled at Carindale, so that was a lovely treat. I don't know why I'm so exhausted today. It's a strange heaviness that has slammed me out of nowhere. Sometimes it's a food-related allergy, Sometimes it's depression, but this feels like a cosmic type shift which can make me feel quite ill or depleted. Time will tell. I tell you what, I'm on fire here and I've got the air conditioning on at 24. Can you see I've gone beet red, haven't I? My skin feels cold to the touch, but internally I've just gone, which is a hot flush, people. I shouldn't be fucking having hot flushes. I'm nearly 60 years old. Well, I'm not. I'm nearly 59, but oh dear goddess. My friend down the road who's older than me said to me that, by the way, hot flushes last for the rest of your life. I went, what? I thought you stopped after a certain time. She goes, nope, you keep having them. I was like, oh, that's ridiculous, isn't it? It's just ridiculous. But here I am. It's gone right down to the top of my legs, up my belly, shooting up me and going, whew. Anyway, time will tell. I do think I'm coming out of that post-traumatic depression I experienced after seeing that last abusing doctor. That was that Colombian fucking doctor at, oh, that piece of shit. Anyway, never mind, I'm over that now. But that was very triggering for me. So I hope to feel a bit brighter in the ensuing weeks. 11th of February 2020. The humidity is intense today. I went outside to clean the pond filters. In a relatively short time, I had sweat pouring down my face and my dress is wet from perspiration too. Yuck. I need to take a shower and wash my hair because of the sweat. I wasn't even out there long. I have put the aircon on and have decided to avoid going out today. Also, no doubt there is a storm brewing. I can hear thunder in the distance and my asthma is giving me hell. The rain is good for the garden though. Charlie is outside singing to the other birds or himself. I will bring him back indoors before the storm hits. This is when I thought that Charlie was male, till she laid an egg. I think it was December 2020 she laid her first egg. Late bloomer like mama. Well, I wasn't a late bloomer. I had my children very young, by 20 and a half, and another one at 22. But I've late bloomed in other ways. Success, true love, emotional equilibrium, you name it. I'm still blooming babies, going off in the summer heat. I have found more love for myself as I have aged. This is true. I lived like a little old lady beaten down by life for decades. Then one day I threw off the shackles and false beliefs that I was unworthy and started to enjoy what is mine by divine birthright. I grew beautiful again. I had been constantly told I was ugly and useless. And I grew strong again. It took many years. I began to dance a year after my mother's death, and I became a transmogrified butterfly. Out in the scene, the first 4 years were rough. So many envious, vicious people trying to destroy me. But each time I rose above it, I became my own lover and my own power. Now I am a force to be reckoned with. Abusers still come to taunt me on the dance floor, and I just purge them from my energy. They are young and foolish and have no idea of what it took to rebuild me from ground zero, not once, but many times. I am like a phoenix bird. I will burn myself down and give birth to myself over and over again if I have to. Freedom, truth, my own inner beauty, and love for myself and this planet is all that matters to me. I will never be beautiful in the eyes of a plastic, fantastic society, but I am me, and I like it that way. Here I post a photo. I actually know this young lady. It's a beautiful photo. How a Brisbane punk met the love of her life in a mosh pit. Go you, Shayna. She likes to mosh like the Tanya. I remember Shayna as a small child. She went to Sinai College with my kids. It's good to see I'm not the only alternative Jew in Brisbane. I love her mohawk. Keep on fucking people off, Shayna. Find your vibe, find your tribe. And I'm very amused and delighted by this. And in actual fact, she is one of 8 daughters, and her parents were devout to the point of almost insanity, ultra-Orthodox, very devout religious people, and they actually had converted to Judaism many years ago. And about the time I first came to Brisbane, I believe in 88, and they were uber from, especially for Brisbane standards. So little Shayna has kind of rebelled, but I'm sure, like me, she's still a good Jewish girl in her heart and living her best life. And that man, although he has an amazing mohawk, hers is better though. I can see he has a kind face the way he's looking at her. So, blessed be little Shayna. Much love from the Tanya, the other Jew in Brisbane that's been scapegoated and vilified for fucking decades for daring to maintain my truth and my spirit and my integrity and my personality as well. You can't crush us. We just keep being rebirthed babies. 11th of February 2012. So today, the pain in my feet has somehow spread to my upper arms. My arms feel like, did I say 2012? I did, didn't I? I'm off my head. 2019. So today, the pain in my feet somehow spread to my upper arms. My arms feel like I was weightlifting in my sleep. Nuts. I wonder why my bones and joints are acting up. I'm feeling restless in spite of my aching body. Now, at that point in time, I was a few months short of having my gallstones out, so I don't know whether that was related to the feeling of heaviness and aches in my body, but probably had a toxic load from too much bile or whatever the gallstones were doing. It might be related, it might not, but man, I was ill. I really was ill for quite some time. Anyway, I repeat, I'm feeling restless in spite of my aching body. Maybe I should go out somewhere. No idea what I feel like doing. Maybe a coffee or go to the shops. I do need to buy more cat litter. I hate that sensation of wanting to run amok, but in too much pain to be bothered to go anywhere. It's like being stuck between 2 paradigms, the proverbial rock and a hard place. I'm really worried about how it looks kind of swollen in the jaw here, because Jared bought me a Magnum ice cream today, which was delicious, But I didn't complain because I didn't want to be a whiny fucking old biddy all day. But I had really bad pain in my teeth here. Each time I bit into the ice cream, it kind of went zing. And now I feel like it's a bit swollen. I hope I'm imagining it and it can go away. Go away pain. I'm not in pain, but it all looks sort of, yeah, I feel it there. Just pinched it there. I can feel the pain in there. Oh well, it probably means I bit down too hard on my teeth in my sleep last night, as I do, because I have terrible bruxism. So it probably will go away if I just don't bite on it anymore. Where was I? I hate that sensation of wanting to run amok but in too much pain to be bothered to go anywhere. It's like being stuck between two paradigms, the proverbial rock and a hard place. And that feature of wanting to run amok and just run and being restless and need to go somewhere, anywhere, just to escape, to feel free, is another fixture that comes with complex PTSD people. So I can be very restless indeed, and then spontaneously I'll be like, I have to go out, I just have to go anywhere, it doesn't matter, even if it's just to the local shops, just to run wild a bit, you know. It's harmless, but it can be frustrating even for me. Here's a beautiful photo, one of my favourite photos of myself of all time, that Jared took of me one evening when he visited, and I was actually putting on makeup, getting ready to go out dancing that night. And he was, being the artist that he was, and of course also being a man, he was intrigued with me putting on my mascara and eyeliner. And so he took this very intimate photograph of me concentrating on putting on my makeup, right? And I was actually quite surprised when I saw it. I was like, oh, that's an interesting shot of me, but I've always cherished it. It's why it's up on my vocal media. I'm like doing my eyes, and yeah, it was sweet. He's a sweet friend to me, and I adore you, Jared, always and forever. I mean, like many of my, my closest friends, he has ways of winding me up too, but it's all right. It's balanced out with a lot of sweetness and kindness, and as long as the wind-ups don't get too bad. I can get a bit enraged at times if I think I'm being gaslit. Anyway, you have to laugh. But we had a lovely day together today. Here's another lovely photo. I don't know who took that. I must have taken it, because all you can see are my feet. Beauregard. He used to often look like a little teddy bear lying beside me. Sometimes you could almost forget that he was a real dog. He's a sweet doggy. Here I write, so he decides to lie between my aching legs, as if I was not already hot enough. Bless him. He probably thinks he is healing me. He probably did. He was an excellent dog tour. I actually discovered that after I had my gallbladder surgery. What an excellent dog tour he truly was. And the pussycats too, with their purring at the hertz, I think it's 45 hertz, or is it 32? I can't remember. But their purring was very healing. So I would wake up writhing in agony with the dog on one side and my soulmate Penny on my right side, looking into my eyes, purring. And it was very soothing after I had that horrific surgery, because it wasn't just that the surgery was extremely painful, but I was extremely traumatized after it as well. So, true loves, people, may not even be human. Just remember that. Sad but true. But unfortunately, all my beautiful babies are now in Valhalla, and all I have left now is little Charlie. who is also a delight. I need to buy a new transformer and wiring for my pond light. I thought it was the lamp that blew out, but while changing over the bulbs, I discovered it was not the bulb, so I had a look at the wiring. It grew hot in my hand, so I think the transformer is faulty. It's a few years old, maybe about 5. Anyway, more money needed, but it's not absolutely necessary, so it can wait. Just a tad annoying. And I ended up not bothering putting a light on the pond anymore. It was just getting too expensive with the things blowing out all the time. One time I almost electrocuted myself too, so there was that. So it's all good. No more lights on the pond. It just stays in the darkness at night, and it can. I could buy a solar light and put a solar light on it, but I can't be bothered. I'm done. I was like, pardon me, opulent mama tea, wanting my pond all lit up at night, and it did look gorgeous. And I used to stand outside on warm summer nights and look at my fish swimming around under the pond light. So it was gorgeous. And I thought about it, they probably don't get much sleep with the light bearing down on them all the time either. So decided to just let it go. 11th of February 2018, storm brewing, that should bring some relief. And a bit later, here she blows, and fuck, cyclonic wind, scary. Chilling onto Mama's thigh after the epic, scary storm. Oh, look at him. I know I sound obsessed, but he was the love of my life. He really was. Him, the cats, Bella Rosa when she was alive, my horse when I was a teenager, all the other doggies that came and went from my life, my beautiful Dalmatians and my foster dog Jeffy, and all of them were each and every one of them little soul with the loves of my life. So if I had a human man that was sweet and kind to me, like my pets are and were, he too could be the love of my life. Oh, dear goddess. Anyway, I had a lovely time last night. My leg is slowly getting better. I had to knock myself out with a Valium at 3:30 a.m. That's not good, people. And it took until 5:30 a.m. to fall asleep, which is really not good. Valium usually calms you down within 10 minutes. I woke up just before 11 a.m. So what's that? 6 hours, 5.5 hours sleep. Yeah, that's pretty normal. Not able to sleep more than 6 or 7 hours these days, which is totally weird even by my standards. I used to be the dormouse at the Mad Hatter's tea party. Oh well, Hashem wants me awake and aware for a reason. I woke up with a terrible longing for Dave, which is, and we can say now, was my worst insanity. I wonder how many more years I'm going to love a man who is not even in my life. It is very strange. It was indeed very strange. But I am blessed with beautiful, loving, kind and supportive friends who bring me great joy. To you all. One day I might fall in love with someone wonderful again. Only next time it would be great if that person also fell in love with me and didn't let jealous, spiteful, vindictive creeps sabotage our union. I guess I'm asking too much from the universe and humans. But it could happen. Other people have partners that both love and respect them and remain faithful and bonded together in bliss. Just because I have been tragically unlucky in love doesn't mean things cannot change dramatically in my favour. Oh, dear Goddess. I must remain loving and hopeful. A new paradigm is on the horizon. What year was that? What year was that, people? Just have to be sure. 2018. So here we are 6 years later. Well, things are looking up. I am treated with much kindness and sweetness in recent months, as I said earlier in video 1, I think, part 1. So things are looking up. I can see possibilities. But Ezrat Hashem, by the will of God, it comes true for me soon. A beautiful man who adores me. It chooses me from his own heart, body, mind and soul and spirit, and includes me in his life and is proud and happy to be my man. Someone wonderful. 11th of February 2017. I often ponder, what if Sylvia Plath and Virginia Woolf were alive today? Would they have survived today, or taken the path of oblivion the same way? Modern pharmaceuticals have gifted me a longer life, but not a comfortable one. I often think how heroic it was to choose one's own demise, to bed down the ghosts and monsters from our childhood, our mummies and daddies and lovers, putrid and cruel, but of our soul's choosing. To say, sayonara, sweetheart, and fly in the face of torture, privation, and lovelessness. Sylvia, what would you have done to stay alive? Virginia, why give up so soon? Tanya, if not now, when? What does it take to thrive? Peace, courage, and mirth. Trust in yourself, God or Goddess, or a few rare humans who practice loving kindness and emollient your hearts and minds and skin and soul with love and light and encouragement. It takes grace and luck and the brittle, prickly irony of shutting down and not giving fucks, and clarity and laughter in the face of death, poverty, trauma, and betrayals. I met a young man at 3 a.m, a very interesting encounter. He asked for a lift to Coorparoo, so without too much caution, I obliged him, told him to pay it forward, as I too had been gifted with the kindness of strangers in precarious places. I have indeed many, many times in almost miraculous ways. He asked for my phone number, but I demurred. I told him, if you are a gambler, you will find me on the dance floor. He is too young and has hit rock bottom. I know the stink of rock bottom. I didn't tell him how it slides and gravels down again and again in a deep, bottomless abyss of horror. I did, however, tell him to put the brakes on his slippery descent, to try to turn his life around, or he will be me one day, words easier uttered than created, glib, middle of the night, empty words. Nothing can stop us. Lessons are learned and repeated until our eye sockets dry out and hollow. He was a decent fellow. Asked me for coffee in gratitude for the lift, but instead we chatted in my car about spirituality, life, and our mutual significant miseries. Here I go with another hot flush. Nothing binds humans together like misery. It is 25 degrees Celsius outside, but it should be 24, and here I've got the aircon on 24. Where was I? Nothing binds humans together like misery. But he told me most of life is finding out our why and not our how, and when I find it, I will succeed. Cute. I told him I chose this life of poverty to keep safe from abuse in the workforce, abuse with partners, abuse almost everywhere I go. I told him I had just wanted fun before I died, and I have achieved that in the past 5 years. Now 13 years. By golly, I have achieved that with my wild shamanic dancing every weekend. Now I dream of peace and happiness and love in Byron Bay. Live out my days in serenity. He said he saw my passion for that fire up in my eyes, and I will manifest it if I want it enough. Oh dear Goddess, I have wanted it for decades. Yeah, right on. But I am wise enough to know that locations and homes and dreams are not always what we signed up for. Things can always go wrong. I have had enough wrongness. But I will pursue my dreams of love and happiness as, why not? I got time. A day, a month, a year, another decade. Time and illusory dreams are bursting out at the seams of my shellacked existence. Que sera, sera, next year in Jerusalem, the holy and holies of my heart, the goddess within and the God without. Blessings, opulence, and a dry, twisted humour, not a tumour. Not doing housework today, too bloody hot. I did well with my fiery burst of energy yesterday, but I gotta pace myself. Here I write, been running all my life, mostly in a vortex on the same spot, going nowhere but older and crazier. It is the journey, not the destination. Occasionally I have slid fourth base and thought, home. But in truth, there is no real home, just walls that smother or cage me. Hands reach me and throw me up on a fireman's blanket out of the hellfire, but my ass still gets burnt. Some hands throw me cake, others crumbs, but I accept all that is gifted me with grace and gratitude. running to nowhere and next year or nothingness takes its toll. Sometimes I just want to glide and fly on zephyrs and everlasting love and happiness. It happens in its own time. I have dropped 4 kilos in 2 weeks after my scary sudden weight gain that I can only ascribe to living on codeine with my teeth pain for 8 weeks. Apparently, sudden weight loss is not good for a fatty liver, but damn it, I didn't do it purposely. Anyway, my body has its own logic. I have been drinking a lot of water in the past few days due to the extreme heat. Probably sweated out half a liver, some kidneys, and my heart and soul. Blech. Take me to the sea. I am not a desert dweller. Flat out like a desiccated gecko after Sophie Cat has hunted. I am healed. I am beautiful. I am powerful. I am loved. I am manifesting affirmations in a denial drunk with delirious self-abnegation. But I will not deny myself the simple pleasures of Horcrux, hope, and Pollyanna positivity. In actual fact, right now, I'm sitting under my shady umbrella in a garden tinkling with fountains, a scalding heat wave sunshine that dries the eyes, and a summer zephyr I prayed for a few posts ago. Happiness, all is possible. I wants my precious, I does. Come to me with open arms, open hearts, open minds, and soothe our bodies in bliss, and commune to the melody of the spheres, and never let go of life, of its dreams, and of its sweet epiphanies. I had a lovely time with Lynn and Peter. The pool was heavenly. Immersing into a watery blessing after a sweltering day was magic. Lynn made crumb steak and roast veggies for our dinner. Yum! Love, love, love my beautiful friends who share their bliss with me. Grateful, happy woman here. 11th of February 2015. I debriefed with my doctor today. That means my psychiatrist. My psychiatrist who was my doctor who is my psychiatrist. Is there a doctor in the house? Well, yes, indeed. Also much appreciated and beloved by me, by the way. After 13 years of therapy, he's worked with me, on me and with me. He said he is sad for me that I have been scapegoated by an entire pub for whistleblowing and for the process of events that led to my victimhood. People aligning with the misogynistic culture of that place and driving me out with vicious lies, slander, and innuendo. He commented, I still have fight in my eyes. I said, well, I am used to fighting bastards with a proverbial axe in my back. The deeper they plant that axe, the harder I fight. But in truth, I am gutted, devastated, and feel hopelessly betrayed by so many people that faked friendship. And the space, I will remind you, we're referring to was Irish Murphy's, where I danced for 2.5 years until that place went rancid. I told him that I ended my long-standing friendship with Gail after she told me that she and Talia intended to move in my home, and I said no. Then a week later, she picked the time I was in bed, breaking down, to tell me the council will fine me for having banana trees and I would be forced to poison them. Completely psycho it was. When Jared checked the BCC website, she was proven to have lied. This is the woman, as I mentioned earlier, I put myself in the line of fire to get her daughter back from an abusive, drug-dealing, bikie, gronking asshole, and that's how she treated me at the end. Appalling it was. My doctor stated, she is obviously jealous of the peaceful home I have created. She was. And it was evil of her to upset me with threats about my garden and my source of food and nurturing. I am not going to mend the friendship this time. I am done with the toxicity. And so that remained to this day. Here I posted a meme, Charles Bukowski. We're all going to die, all of us. What a circus. That alone should make us love each other, but it doesn't. We are terrorized and flattened by trivialities. We are eaten up by nothing. A wise man who was a raging alcoholic and, like most brilliant minds, flawed, but someone I admire greatly for his gritty, realistic view on life and reality and how it really is out there in the world, people. Charles Bukowski and I, we don't sugarcoat shit, babies. Crystal popped in for a brief visit yesterday afternoon. I've just had an inspiration. I might read you one of his short stories one day, just as a reading, just to read his work, introduce you to his work. Just popped into my head. It was a story about an angel and it was quite satirical and unusual. I must find it. I'll probably still have the book here. Might actually do that. Read to you Charles Bukowski, because I'm parvenu and I can't, babies. And art is art and should be shared and enjoyed. Crystal popped in for a brief visit yesterday afternoon. She got rather upset about moving overseas and potentially losing her rabbits if biosecurity won't let me keep them for her, which they didn't, the filthy bastards. There was no reason why they couldn't have just transferred that permit into my name. Both rabbits were desexed and fully vaccinated. They were no threat to anyone in Queensland, certainly not a threat to biosecurity, and yet they forced my daughter to give them up and return them to the Grafton Rabbit Sanctuary. And I lost my grandchildren. Those rabbits were my grandchildren. I know that sounds mad, but I was very, very bonded to those rabbits, and I'm fucking livid to this day how we were treated. There was no need for that. That was just a draconian, ridiculous, absurdist law because they were perfectly, legally already permitted to my daughter. It was just horseshit how they treated us. My daughter was only gone for 3 years, by the way. I could have had them for those 3 years and returned them to her. No, savage they are. Welcome to Queensland, the Sunshine State, where no one can use their common sense and abides by rigid, draconian, ridiculous rules, mostly made up by idiots, by the way. See also the COVID epoch. Jesus. Anyway, we have survived, people. We will continue to survive and we will thrive. I'm determined. I gave her my mother's ruby and diamond eternity ring, which annoyingly she never wears, so I might as well have kept it for myself because I at least wore it constantly. But anyway, I gave it to her for this reason. You want to see my reason? Poor Mama T, hoping to be a grandmother. I told her rubies mean true love and she is not to ever take it off. Never see her wear it. She probably sold it for, I don't know. Probably would have. I actually think she sold it for whatever reason. Like, it pisses me off because I got that ring remodeled. It was the diamonds and the ruby were the top of my mother's eternity ring, right? But the actual band was my wedding ring that I had bought when I had intended to have an Orthodox conversion, and I was actually going to marry her dead shit, fucking useless father, have a Orthodox wedding, and so I bought that wedding band for that purpose. And so when I inherited my mother's eternity ring, which was the only bit of decent, valuable jewellery I inherited, the rest was mostly sterling silver or costume jewellery because her stepkids robbed her of all her valuable stuff. That was the only thing that was left. I got it remodelled and the ruby and diamond, the top of the eternity, cut off and sold it onto the wedding band. So it was partly Mum's ring and partly mine. And instead of cherishing it and wearing it, I never see it on her finger. So I should have kept it, but my intentions were I wanted her to find true love and maybe make me a grandmother one day. And now she's 38, and after this, it'll probably never happen. That small window of opportunity has shrunk down to nothing. So, hence my rage against the COVID epoch, people. Cost me my progeny, my future progeny, well, via both my daughters. I'm so angry about that to this day. All I ever wanted to be was a grandmother, even as a young woman. I was always thinking, oh well, my kids scream a lot and it's difficult and it's hard, but they'll grow up one day and I'll be a grandmother. I'll get the joy of playing with my grandchildren and handing them back to their parents, and the cycle of life can continue and they can deal with the screaming and the nappies and I can just be the fun grandma, right? No, it never happened. So thanks for that, society, you bastards. Anyway, I decided it is something precious she can keep as a memory of me and my mother, something to give to her own daughter if she ever has one. You know, back when there was still vague hope of that happening. Jesus. I think Gisela would be happy I gave the ring to Crystal. To be honest, I kind of felt like this kind of pressure. I think it was actually my mother's idea too, quite frankly. Because I loved that ring. Should have kept it. I don't begrudge that I gave it to her though. I just begrudge that she doesn't wear it. That's the part that annoys me. Like, I don't want it, don't get me wrong, I don't want it back or anything like that. I don't give things to people and want them back. But I want to see them being worn and enjoyed, you know? Otherwise, what's the point of having things if they're just shoved away in a drawer, you never see them? It's like ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I think Gisela would be happy I gave the ring to Crystal. It was Gisela's birthday on 8th of February. I passed the day quietly, but the next day was distressing as my beautiful Mischief died. It was my little Chinese silky rooster. And I had to make a statement to police later that night about my stalker, who was Lana at the casino. Vicious little bitch she was. So apart from a brief outing to the shops, I kept myself quiet yesterday. I bought 3 ex-rental DVDs and spent the evening watching 2 of them. Tomorrow I have my debrief with my psychiatrist, or rather, later today, time to schluff, that means sleep. 11th of February 2014. I had a lovely time with Lynn and Peter. They bought me a really delicious pizza, then an ice cream for dessert and a Corona beer. Okay. I'm trying to work out if we'd gone out for dinner when I said they bought me. What I mean by that, they probably ordered in the pizza. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to work it out in my head if we'd gone out somewhere or if we were at their place. Then I had a lovely relaxing swim in their pool. Thanks for spoiling me so much, Lynn. Lynn replied, never mind dinner, thanks for the quality company. Chilling out is the best. Nice to enjoy the tranquility after the busiest and most stressful years of our lives have passed. Touch wood. Mine 30, yours. How old are you, smiley face? Me. My stressors lasted 48 years. Then gradually the hag departed, but not before she took Miss Bella Rosa, Zulu, Hecate with her. I'm thinking that now I have finally reached the upper slopes of my life's mountain, and the zenith is in view. I am happy for the first time in my life. Let's hope I make it and live long enough to fly over the mountain, free of the bullshit past, and shaking my tail feather, with great spirit's blessings set before me. And this time I will be able to eat the repast of delights without fear, drama, illness, or lack of love. Without your steadfast love and support, Lynn, and other brave, staunch friends who saw my struggles and were in a position to give of themselves many times and never turned away from me or sold me out, I would not be alive today or have lived to find this joy. Thank you so much. You are the most wonderful woman, and you know I mean it from the core of my soul. Here I post a mean Charlie Chaplin in a letter to his daughter Geraldine. Your naked body should belong only to those who fall in love with your naked soul. (11th of February 2013). Wow, I have finally done all the dishes. Phew, quite an effort. Bed stripped, but the mattress protector is on the line, so I'll be sleeping in the spare room again. I feel good today, even though my lungs are still aching and my knee hurts and my bones ache. Got stuff done. Even, gasp, put away my clean washing from off the chair in the hallway. That has been bugging me for a week or two, but somehow only got taken care of this evening. Lots and lots of other stuff to do, like wash and vacuum the floors, the epic dusting and polishing, getting out of some of that by getting Crystal to choose stuff from my mother that I no longer want cluttering the house. I think I must really size, attempt to take down all the windows and give them a good scrub. It's time for that again too. My outlook on the world around my home is rather blotchy and grimy. Ha ha ha. Although when I do clean them, my stalker neighbours will be able to see me through the clean windows. Sometimes it's sensible to be a bit grimy. Then I look glamorous and soft focus through the dirty looking glasses. Ha ha ha. The suckers have no idea. This was back in the day when the old crazy Romanian John was alive, and he literally used to ask me, "What are you doing at 3 a.m. on your computer in the front room? Why aren't you in bed? Why are you up all night? What are you doing? How do you know I'm up at 3 a.m.? I can see you from my toot." I said, "What's a toot?" He said, "My toilet." I was like, "Oh, he goes to the toilet and spies on me." Creepy. Completely creepy he was. And as I said to him, what I do at 3 a.m. in the privacy of my own home and on my own laptop, minding my own business, has got nothing to do with you, boyo. But he was creepy. But yeah, I mean, I had other neighbours opposite that used to watch me night and day too. We were a very nice young couple with little kiddies, but they also watched me obsessively. It was like, what are you watching me for? There's nothing to see here. Just some old lady living her best life, minding her own fucking business. Anyway, it's just bizarre. And now I'm watched on YouTube as well. But that's different because I'm giving you my stories quite willingly for posterity and as a legacy to leave behind in the event that I do die, since I don't have grandchildren, thanks to a certain government, well, all the governments of the world, and Big Pharma. Thanks for that, you bastards. I'm cleaving to my truth till the day I die, by the way. I stand by my truth. Not much help today. Oh, dear goddess. Not much sleep today. Got up by noon after only sleeping properly from 7:30 a.m. So I celebrated being awake for a change by driving with Jared to Golden Circle. I was rather disappointed in their lack of Golden Circle soft drinks, and even more upsetting, can see I'm getting tired, people, they didn't have bags of New Zealand jet planes anymore. I love New Zealand jet planes. They're kind of lolly, like a kind of a jelly type lolly. Hard jelly, if that makes sense. I came home and did some work in the garden. My knee is aching, but felt good to be outside in the sunshine for a change. And I don't know why I keep posting that photo. It's weird, but, well, I guess those were my glory days. Here's me back in 2014, looking very sultry and temptress indeed. But, as usual, still single, babies. With my gorgeous studded boots. And Lynn took that photo of me and took quite a few photos of me in that outfit, encouraging me to go out and be wild, right? Lynn, being a true sister of soul and heart. She's always hoping, as I did, that I'd find someone wonderful, and, well, 2014 was the year I fell in love with Wiglet, wasn't it? Oh no, this was in 2013, the year before. Oh well, anyway, a year later, the rest was completely ruinous history, and we'll just leave it there, let it lie where it lies, dead as a doornail. Mama T will be loved again by someone wonderful and true and devoted to me. I have spoken. That might not happen in this incarnation though. 11th of February 2012. I've had an awesome day, body surfing all day with Julie and Tracy at Dicky Beach, Caloundra, then showered and dressed sexy for a good night out at the clubhouse. I still remember what I wore that night too, and by the gods, did I look sexy. Oh, I looked fabulous that night. Oh well, it makes up for all the other nights where I looked like crap sitting in my little dicky old nightie, all decrepit and worn out after a lovely day at the beach, right? Oh well. Now home and enjoying my bliss out, lol. The ocean was amazing and warm like a bath. I got a bit burnt, but it was well worth it. Same today, little tiny bit burnt schnozzy and forehead, which is a worry because I do have skin cancers on my forehead, but oh well. It's the first time I've got a bit burnt in a long time, so hopefully there will be no skin cancers. Here I am pulling some weird fucking face, I don't know. Oh yeah, I think that was a photo I took for Pal Talk, maybe? Anyway, I sort of look cute, but it's an unusual expression on my face. You won't see that look very often. It's kind of my what the fuck look, but yeah, I don't know what I was trying to do there. I'm not very photogenic, people. I'm really not. I never know. I either grin too much, or I scowl, or I make funny faces. It's very difficult for me to get nice photos of me. It really is. That's why I like that photo I showed you earlier that Jared took, because I wasn't making any faces. Well, I was making a face because I was putting on my eyeliner, but I wasn't conscious that I was about to be photographed. If I'd been conscious of it, I would have made a stupid face and ruined the entire shot, which even Jared and I laughed about for hours after. He said, I got you when you least suspected it. That last shot, I captioned it. This was before I got my front teeth fixed in January 2016. I'm glad I only showed you the top of that photograph because there's a massive fucking bit of cleavage here. Holy doolies. Even I'm like, hoo-ha! I can't believe you're still single, woman. You are gorgeous and busty, unfortunately. Well, it's only hot chips and chocolate, you know. It's all it is. If I went on a diet, I'd have a B cup. You'd all be devastated, you fetishists, you. But I don't care. Love me with a B cup. Love me with an 18D cup. I don't care. I am what I am. I'm not just a body, you know. I'm a soul and a mind and a spirit. I'm an amazing woman. Love me as I am, or don't love me. Free will, people. If you don't love me, leave me the fuck alone. Don't stand in the doorway blocking the view. Keep me from my truly beloved one, whoever he might be one day. 11th of February 2011. I had a lovely long chat with my crystal and I managed to clean the walls and stovetop in my kitchen at long last. It was really grubby. So bit by bit, I am achieving order out of chaos, if only in a very chaotic, disconnected way. Oi. One day I hope to have the whole house in order. Did you hear that? I think it was a curlew. It was either a curlew or it was a scream. It was probably a curlew. One day I hope to have the whole house in order, schmick, clean, tidy and sensible. That will be amazing. It's been about 2 years since I've achieved that, I think, maybe longer. I also cleaned the mould off the ceiling in the bathroom and hallway. Now just the lounge, kitchen and bedrooms to do. Slow but steady progress. Lynn wrote, but not the job we shall never ever discuss, nor ever mention ever again, okay? Ha 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 ha, I write. I'm gearing up to knock over the unmentionable job this week. Kind of sounds like I have a hit on someone, lol. Yes, I do believe I will at long last clean my floors thoroughly. I'm still finishing the dishes I'd accumulated in the bath. Scary. There was a lot. This was me on heavy psych meds, people. I really was not coping. It was a nightmare. I only resorted to doing them because I ran out of cutlery. Lol. I sliced my finger on one of the sharp knives in the bath that I didn't see when I attempted to clean. Lol. Now I have to clean out the blood. If I kept a kosher kitchen, my bathtub would now be officially fleischig. Eek! So a bloody good scrub will be in order. Oops, there's that blood word again. I got a bit of a fright because I bled so much, but it was just because my hands were wet. Phew. No mad rush to the hospital for stitches or anything. Double phew. I hate hospital waiting rooms. 11th of February 2010. Had fun with my mother today. She was awake and alert. I played kitsch songs from my childhood to her, German sea shanties and my Halloween compilation. She really loved Doris Day's Bewitched, Bothered and Bewildered and Ella Fitzgerald's That Old Black Magic. It was a bit of a faux pas playing Hotel California from the Eagles because of the line, you can check in any time you like, but you can never leave. Music is the last faculty to go in the Alzheimer's brain. I was glad to see her eyes spark up with nostalgia when I played her old music. Somewhere tucked deep inside that shell was my mother. Even a woman I had never met that existed long before she birthed me when she was 38. It was amazing and humbling and a bit terrifying. One time, close to her end, I played her Ich habe Heimweh nach St. Pauli. I have a homesickness for St. Pauli. A sea shanty about going home to a suburb in Hamburg where Mum was christened. I got very emotional as I knew she was indeed going home to paradise. She picked up on it. Even with a spongy, rotten brain, her spirit was very psychic and astute. She snapped at me, spitting out the words viciously. Just stop it! I realised She feared death, and I knew I was prematurely grieving. I had grieved not having a decent, kind, loving mother all my life, but this was the final grieving process, her actual, imminent death. Okay, Mum, okay, I said. I never played that song again until her funeral. We played that and both sides now, and I did it my way. It captured so much of who she was. So thus concludes my readings of Even Date. It's been quirky, it's been weird, it's been painful, it's been bittersweet, it's been hopeful, it's been contented, it's been inspirational, it's been aspirational. Mama T, the Tanya, still praying, hoping, yearning, wanting my true lover to come to me and clean and clear and choose me with his own heart, body, mind and spirit. And by the gods, it's absurdist, people, but I never quit on my dreams, because after all, I am also the psychedelic dreamer. Much love to my beloved ones out in the world who watch and follow my videos with great amusement, sometimes horror and consternation. And thank you to those who zealously guard my truth and protect me and love me and treat me with honour and kindness and encourage me to go on each and every day, continuously unfurling in my Fibonacci sequence, dreaming and rejoicing in the good things that come my way, like today's beautiful day with Jared, and yesterday evening with my friend Tarina, and the previous evening dancing wildly and joyously at the Brooklyn Standard for my friends in the Alter Egos band. And this Friday it will be Ramjet, and I appreciate you too, Ramjet. So life is sweet and life is good and life is powerful and beautiful and unfurling, and love is the law, people. Hold your line, love your true loves, your true friends, family, pets, the earth you stand upon, your community, your tribe, and if you are so blessed, love your truly loving partners, wives, girlfriends, husbands, boyfriends, lovers, those who choose you and treat you with great, great, comforting, sweet, loyal, faithful, protecting love. Those who nurture you, those that can tolerate you in your quirky, weird ways. Speaking to myself here, Tanya Aarons. It might be a too hard basket for most people, but there's someone out there who will delight in me all the same. So, bye for now. Stay safe, stay happy, stay free, stay wild, stay glorious.